Okay, all right. So since the first part is done, I'm just going to read it just so we, get the background of the question and then we'll talk about the second part. Okay. It says the coordinates of 2 points A and B are -7, 3 and 5, 11 respectively. Show that the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB is 3x plus 2y equals 11. So when we did this point, we were basically talking about the equation of lines. AB was basically a line segment, and we had to find out the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB. So perpendicular bisector means that it would be cutting AB from the midpoint of AB. So we were able to find out the midpoint of AB, and then we had to find out the gradient of the perpendicular bisector. We were easily able to do that by finding out the gradient of AB and then by taking the negative reciprocal of AB. Okay, so this was basically the idea. Okay, let's talk about the next part because this is related to what we are talking about and it's a 5-mark question, so it's important and this would take some time to understand. Okay, it says a circle passes through A and B. The coordinates of A and B are given already, and its center lies on the line 12x minus 5y equals 70. Find an equation of the circle. Okay. This is basically what we need to do right now. Okay. Again, no matter how difficult the question is, if it says you need to find the equation of the circle, at least we know what exactly we need to know for that. Okay, so we need to have the coordinates of the center of the circle and the radius. Okay, so we need these two things. This is what we know, but how do I find the center and radius? For that, obviously this much information is not enough. I need to go back to the first part and think about the entire scenario, and then things would make sense. Okay, so let me just make a diagram for this. This is the circle, and A and B are 2 points. It could be anywhere on the circle. They did not say A and B are making the diameter. Okay, so forget about what exactly the coordinates of A and B are. Again, I'm just trying to give you a reference of the concept. So imagine this is A and this is B, and it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. Okay, I'll make a line. This is the line segment AB. And what did we calculate in the previous part? We were basically working on the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB. Where exactly would be the perpendicular bisector of AB? So let's say if this is the midpoint of AB, the perpendicular bisector would be bisecting it. Okay, so imagine this is basically the yellow line is basically the perpendicular bisector, and you have been told that this line it's the center lies on this line. So the center is lying on this line. Again, I am not sure how exactly. I can make some guesses by looking at the equation, but I won't make any guess, and I'll just explain the idea by assuming that since the center lies on this line, so let's say this is the center of the circle. So it could be that this line is something of this type, or it could be that this line is something of this type, or this one. Sorry. It could be any line. The only thing that's given is that the center is lying on this line. Okay, so for now, let's assume that it is this blue line and I'm erasing the perpendicular bisector. Okay, all right. Now We had a line segment from A to B, and the yellow line is basically the perpendicular bisector. So the perpendicular bisector is basically the yellow line, and the blue line is a random line that I made, but only by considering this information that the center lies on this line. The blue line could have been other way around as well, right? We have a lot of choices to make the blue line. I'm just making a scenario to help you understand that the center of the circle would basically be the point of intersection of these two lines. Now, you guys can say that what made you say that? Like, obviously, I made the yellow line, I made the blue line. It could be that I made these two lines on purpose, but you can think about the same scenario this way as well. One second. Now imagine you have a circle again. The circle has points A and B. Let's say this is point A, and let's say this is point B. What was given in the first part, that we had to make a line segment? Here is your line segment. I know it's not a perfect line, but it's a line segment. And we were asked to find out the equation of the perpendicular bisector again. Perpendicular bisector, so center of the red line, and it would be perpendicularly bisecting this the line segment AB, not like this. 1 second. Okay, something of this type. Now again, this line, since this line is perpendicularly bisecting, by default, this blue line is basically going to be the diameter. Every time when you have a chord, what is a chord? A chord is basically a line that is made within a circle by connecting 2 points on the circumference. Okay, every time when I will make the perpendicular bisector of any chord, the perpendicular bisector would be the diameter of the circle. Why? Because it is bisecting the chord and it is bisecting it perpendicularly. Okay, so because of these two reasons, it is going to be the diameter. Now if you have the diameter, and if you know that this is basically a line that contains the center, so obviously if, let's say, if the line is something of this type, for example, let's say this one, so this is going to be the center, right? The diameter also has center, and the blue and the yellow line also has center. So when I will find the point of intersection, this is going to have the center, the coordinates of the center. Okay, that is why we are supposed to simultaneously solve the equation, this one, and the equation that we found in the first part. Any confusions with the idea? Yes, Munja and
Miss,
Rafe.
so like we drew a
Mm-hmm.
circle,
Mm-hmm.
then we drew a chord,
Yes.
the line AB, then
Yes.
we drew the perpendicular bisector of it, which is
Yes.
going to be passing through the center. After which we drew the random line, which is passing through the center of the circle, right?
Yes. Yes.
So my question is, why did you draw that random line?
Because,
I'm not getting.
yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'll tell you. Because we were told that a circle passes through AB and its center lies on the line 12x minus 5y equals 70. This is basically this line. And this is basically the perpendicular bisector. When I will solve these two equations simultaneously, then I would get the coordinates of center. I was already given with the information about two lines. One was the perpendicular bisector, which technically I calculated in the previous part. And in the next part, this yellow line is a separate line that is passing through the center. Okay, when I was talking about the perpendicular bisector, this is not the equation of the perpendicular bisector. We did some calculation in the previous part, and this was basically the equation of the perpendicular bisector. Okay, And this 12x minus 5y equals 70 is basically the equation of another random line that was passing through the center of the circle. Yes, is it clear now?
Yes, miss.
Okay, perfect. So, Munja, are you clear with the idea that we need to solve these equations simultaneously because the point of intersection is going to be the center, and when I will solve it simultaneously, I would get these coordinates of the center, right?
I'm not clear. I was confused at first because we had coordinates which were given in the beginning, so I know exactly that it is the perpendicular bisector.
Yeah, no, the coordinates
So
which were given in the beginning were basically for AB.
on the first equation,
Hmm?
because at first glance I thought we were going to find the midpoint using those coordinates, but now reading the question, I know what you're talking about now. That I
Exactly.
mean,
Yes.
perpendicular bisector, not
Yes. The
not those
midpoint
coordinates.
of, yes. If you will find the midpoint of the AB, they never said that AB is your diameter, okay? AB is any chord.
Yeah, that's
Let's
where
say,
yeah,
yeah.
that's where I was confused. Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
okay. Yeah, now you would know because in questions where they want you to consider AB as the diameter, they would certainly mention that. If they're not mentioning that, we can't use, such assumptions in geometry specifically, right? Okay. So now I
Okay.
hope that both of you are clear with the idea. So let's just find out the coordinates of the center simultaneously. Okay, so the first equation or the perpendicular bisector had this equation 3x plus 2y equals 11, and the random line had this equation. This was given. This is 12x minus 5y equals 70. Now you're supposed to solve it simultaneously. Now it's your choice. You can make one subject and then do it, or you can just solve it by the elimination method. So I prefer going by the elimination method. This is 1, this is 2. I will just multiply 4 with this on both sides, 4 over here, and I'll multiply 4 on this side as well. And this is going to give me 12x plus 8y equals 44. Now this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. Now I can just subtract 1 and 2 and I would get y directly, okay? So 1 minus 2 would give me 1 has 12x plus 8y as its left hand side, and this minus 12x minus 5y equals 44 minus 70. So 44 minus 70, 12x and 12x would be cancelled. Positive 8y plus 5y equals 44 minus 70.
Minus 26.
And yes, very good. That is, 1 second, that's minus 26. And this would give you 13y equals minus 26. So this would imply that y is equal to minus 2. Now I've seen students, they understand that how this question would be solved, but when they are given with 1 2 as two equations, for some reason, just because of the exam pressure, they are unable to do so. Always remember, elimination method is very very easy. You would be able to get rid of the other variable and simplify it easily. Now I have y equals minus 2. I can use any of the two equations. Let's use equation 2. When I will use equation 2, this would give me 12x minus 5 into minus 2 equals 70, and then 12x equals minus 10 plus 70, and 12x is equal to 60 and x is equal to 5. So this gave me 5 and minus 2 as the center point. This is basically the center point. Now this is going to be a homework, the next part, because we are time is up. You need to find the equation of the circle. We got the center. How do we find the radius? We have the center coordinates, and what else do we have? This is the circle. This is the center. We have 2 points. We have A and we have B. In order to find the radius, you can use the distance formula to find this. length or to find this length, and this is going to give you the radius. So this would give you the radius. You have the coordinates of the center. You're just supposed to plug in these values in the equation of the circle, simplify, and that would basically give you the equation of the circle, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so please, Munja and Rafe, please do this as homework and just send it to me by the end of today, okay?
Okay.
Miss, so
Yes.
like first, Miss, we drew the circle, then we drew the chord AB because
Yes.
the question that mentioned if it is a diameter or not.
Mm-hmm.
Then we drew the perpendicular bisector.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss, can you show me the part A?
Yes, yes.
Just wait a second. See if I wrote this.
Yeah, take your time, take your time.
Okay. Then this is the equation of the perpendicular bisector. So then we drew the diameter passing through the center of the circle. And then we will be finding the point of intersection, that is the center of a circle, using simultaneous equation. Like it is equating them.
Yes, because this was the perpendicular bisector. So this would basically be this technically, just imagine you have been told that, forget about this for now. Even this is the diameter. I explained that why. And this is also a diameter. Imagine you have a circle. Just close your eyes and think about it. You have a circle, and you know that there's a line that's passing through the center. So that is obviously going to be another diameter. So when you have two diameters, you certainly know in case of a circle, they will intersect at the center, right? This is also a diameter. And when you have a circle with 2 points, and this is the line segment, when you will find the perpendicular bisector of this point, this is also going to be your diameter. So this was diameter, this was basically the perpendicular bisector, and this is the diameter because you were told that the line is passing through the center. So this technically means that it would be the diameter. And when you will find the 2 points of intersection for the diameter, that is basically going to be your center. Okay.
Okay, miss, thank you.
Okay. All right, perfect. So let me just stop the recording.